Before we begin, thank you very much to Hey Jiggins for joining the Patreon campaign. Thank you very much for the support. Always appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Whether you are pitching in on Patreon, hitting like and subscribe, or just leaving your ad blocker off, it does all help the channel and help me keep doing this. So thank you very much. Quick little update. I did tell you Cartoon Reviews would be making a return. I don't know if it's really going to be in the old format, but at the very least for a one-off, I did write something that I intended to title an episode of TJTV, for those who have been sticking around long enough to remember that. I did the filming for it. I'm going to start editing it tonight. Don't know when it'll be up, but it's going to be a much bigger video than normal, so once it hits, I hope everyone tunes in and lets me know what you think. Okay, so let's get to today's video, because today we get to do my favorite thing in the world, which is baseless speculation. We have brand new listings for Transformers toys, and one of them is a big list of Transformers 1 toys, and we can't glean anything from it because it's all codename. All we can really do is see some gimmicky figures, and we don't even know what those gimmicks are, so we can't really do anything with that list. However, a trio of names did drop that we can actually debate about a little bit and try and discern exactly what they are, and they are for new collaborative figures. So, we are looking at 3: Project Knight, Project Renaissance, and Project Tails. As always, these tend to be incredibly vague and, at best, passing references to exactly what they are actually pertaining to. Meaning that, they could be any number of things. So let's go one by one here. Since we've only got 3 to speculate on, we'll try to go as far as we can in the speculation of each. And that's going to start with Knight. We're going to start with Project Knight. I think the first thing a lot of people thought of, because when Collaborative first showed off what they were about, everyone kind of thought this would be a shoo-in for the line, and that is Knight Rider. So everyone thought this because remember what the first 2 collabs were. It was Back to the Future and it was Ghostbusters. So everyone started thinking about big 80s franchises that were known for their cars and their vehicles. What famous vehicle from the 80s could they adapt next? So Kit from Knight Rider started to come up in conversation a lot. Now, I've never really been particularly big on this as an idea. So the thing is, it's just a Pontiac Firebird with a laser going across the front, going left and right. That's it. That's it. Other than that, it's pretty much a stock car, and there's really there's nothing really special about it when you turn it into a Transformer. Yeah, fans of the show will know it as Kit, but it just doesn't stand out as anything special from first glance. It's just a black Pontiac Firebird. Now, the funny thing here is, it actually wasn't that long ago that I actually saw a Knight Rider toy in the wild, which was kind of mind-blowing to me. It was a Playmobil set. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out who this was for. I kind of associate Playmobil in that realm of Fisher-Price and toys for very young children. So cutesy aesthetic, little smiley faces on your little semi-Lego characters. And that's kind of what I thought we were doing with this. It's even it's basically a kid's Lego set. It's 53 pieces to put together, etc. But for some reason, it also has sound effects based on the show. The show that no child who sees this on a shelf would ever have seen. So I just have to wonder, okay, it's a kid's product, but it's made for adults who grew up with the show, but it's also designed for tiny children. I don't know. I don't know. At the very least, at least we know the toy license is out there somewhere. They're licensing it out, so maybe? But again, too dead on. Even the spelling of Knight is correct. So I don't necessarily think it's that. Now, this could be very literal. They could be getting into a character who is literally a knight and looking more inward, something that's within the company. It might be something Dungeons and Dragons based. And if I'm describing the War Duke to somebody, I'm probably going to say he looks like a knight with bat wings. That's pretty much what it would boil down to. Now, there's tons of fictional medieval style knights out there. This could have been anything from a D&D character to, King Arthur. There's a big realm, where knights can come from. So I'm not entirely sold on this one. I think it would be a safe bet, knowing that sometimes Hasbro does do collaboratives within their own umbrella. So, the Tonkinator, for instance. They're not collaborating with anybody. They're just using the logo they already own on a Constructicon set. We might see something similar with this. No real clue. But this would be kind of a safe bet. I know the one that everyone's actually anticipating, because it's another type of knight that came to everyone's mind and would absolutely love, and that is Batman, the Dark Knight. This would be a dream. This would be a dream project. Whether it could be a Batmobile or a Batwing. I really don't care. A transforming Batman would be amazing. A transforming Batmobile, you would not be able to sell enough of them. Collaboratives can kind of be hit and miss as far as popularity. But if you go for one like that, you're going to sell out. You're not going to be able to print enough of the things, right? It's going to be at that level of Gigawatt and Ectotron. Forgot that name was so simple. Gigawatt was clever, and then Ectotron's just kind of there. The trick here is you have to get Mattel to play ball. Or I guess in this case, McFarlane. You have to get McFarlane to play ball. They've got the license. You also have to get DC to play ball. And I'm not entirely sure they're going to be willing to hand over the license to someone who is producing the Marvel toy line. That is kind of a big risk for them, because keep in mind, they could give Hasbro a one-off license to just do a transforming Batmobile, but that puts the character of Batman in danger of having a underproduced figure, or a figure that could be intentionally unflattering, in order to kind of hurt the image of the character on toy shelves. Now, I think McFarlane's done plenty good job of doing that by over-bloating the toy aisles with endless variations of Batman. But in this case, there would be a legitimate concern from DC that you would have to overcome, and that gets tricky. I don't necessarily know if they would manage to do that. So, I think this is a long shot and a half. It would be the coolest option, but I think it's a long shot and a half. Honestly, I think I might have been right about Hasbro keeping it in company, because the kind of knight that I came up with is a Jedi Knight. They could do Star Wars Transformers so much better than they could in the past. And I'm not even basing that off of anything other than they couldn't be much worse. I could absolutely see them trying it again, especially right now where Star Wars is, kind of having a hard time finding interest. This could be a way of potentially putting something on a shelf that would garner interest and start getting collectors to pay attention again. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just hopeful. For all I know, they're just releasing the Darth Vader that Takara made years back, Could be a potential. I would put my money on it being, being a Star Wars collaborative. That's where my money is right now as far as what Project Knight is. Let's move on to Project Tails, and this one's a lot harder to discern, and I've heard some weird speculations. I mean, people immediately jump to the character literally named Tails, but one, if you're trying to keep it secret, why would you be that overt with it? Why would you be that in your face, Also, why name it after the sidekick? Why, it'd be a Sonic thing. You do Sonic first. I would name it Project Blur, or Project Chili Dog, some outside reference. No, it's not going to be Sonic. It's not going to be Sonic. You know, it's not, and not because I don't think Jax wouldn't play ball. I think they would. I just think it's, I don't know, it's too on the nose. It's too on the nose. They get more vague. They get more vague than that. You know the one that someone told me that I thought, no, don't put that idea in my head because that would get me way too excited? What if Tails meant Ghidorah and his two tails? What if we actually got, like, transforming kaiju? And, like, no, don't put that idea in my head. Because you even put that idea in my head and I can feel my bank account going down. Now, again, I don't think they would name it after a secondary. I don't think it would be an implication of Ghidorah. You know, if you're going to do it, you're going to imply Godzilla somehow. And granted, it'd be a great time to do it. He's got a new movie coming out. -1 just did way more than anyone ever anticipated. And now they're maybe talking Oscar nominations. Kind of ridiculous. Kind of ridiculous. So, I mean, it would be a great timing, but again, you'd have to get the right company to play ball, and they're going to be doing a ton of Godzilla and Kong toys. So there's that, potentially. But again, Tails, most kaiju only have one. So, you know, you'd have to be looking at a project where multiple characters would have to be involved. And typically these are one-offs, so I'm not necessarily sure that's going to be the plan. It'd be cool. I mean, I would be more convinced of, like, if it's like a franchise where tails, like the number of tails on something, would actually be a big deal. You know, a Naruto came to mind in that one. Kurama as a transformer, I don't know. You know, Kurama that transforms into a Naruto, I don't know. Would they go that route? Because if this was actually possible, don't you think Takara would do it before Hasbro? But it's one of the only franchises I can think of where the number of tails is important. I mean, if you can think of another one, please let me know. You know, I would, like, if there's another franchise out there where, like, tails are significant to something, please let me know. Because, like, outside of Vulpix and Ninetales, I can't think of another one offhand, though I'm sure they are out there. Again, this might be another one where we're looking inward. You know, collaboratives are a great way of sparking interest in a franchise that maybe isn't doing that hot right now. Do you know what the current My Little Pony is up to? No, you don't, because it's not doing what Friendship is Magic did. It's not that widespread. It's just kind of existing. I wouldn't be surprised. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this is another, like, inward project where they're just collaborating with something else they already own. And you could see a transforming My Little Pony character. And it ain't going to be one of the current ones. It's going to be one of the 6 on screen right now. But again, this is me just trying to find something with a tail, right? You're just trying to find something with a tail. Hey, do you know what just got announced? Do you know what just got announced that does have tails? This thing got announced. You have any idea how excited I am to build a Zoid of a Rathalos? I'm a big Monster Hunter guy. Big Monster Hunter guy. And I do like me some Zoids as well. So this is a golden combination for me. My only regret is that they're not doing this in the video game where I can hunt down the Liger Zero and carve it up for armor. This wouldn't surprise me. Now, it's not going to be a direct import because it's a Zoid, not a Transformer. But if the license is already in Tomi's hands, like if they're already doing this level of cooperation, it is possible that something else is in the works. It's possible that something else could be made of this collaboration, that maybe the one that, you know, maybe an upcoming toy that Hasbro is going to have access to might be on a different end of Tomi's toy line, like one of the Takara toy lines. That would be cool. That would be incredible. My money is on the My Little Pony. My heart is here. My heart is absolutely here. And that just leaves us one to speculate on. Project Renaissance. And really, when you think about it, this really could only be one thing. I think it's the most obvious one on the entire list. You know, because, what else could it be? There really is absolutely nothing else. I mean, if we're getting something called Project Renaissance, then clearly it's going to be Leonardo's helicopter design. I don't know how They managed to make a transformer out of this thing, but you know what? I've seen the biplane. I've seen, flat objects become transformers. I don't think this is too far out of the realm of their capabilities. Yes, I'm full of it. I'm being facetious right now. We know it's going to be the Ninja Turtles. I mean, they're literally named after Renaissance painters. This could not be more blatant. I mean, there's other ones they could have done. I would have named it like Project Shell. There's a lot of things that use shells. It could have been anything like that. But no, this kind of seems obvious. I think ever since Code Red came out, everyone just kind of looked at that and went, man, if only it was the Ninja Turtle party wagon instead. And it could be, they could just retool that into a Ninja Turtle thing. I think that would be a gross injustice to it though, because for starters, it would be the old school Turtle van, which really does not have the shapes or proportions of the one from Stranger Things, because the one from Stranger Things is a real vehicle. Let's get that out of the way. No. If they're doing it, I think it's like proper animation party wagon back in the day. That fat van with the armored shell top and the armored door on the side, the guns hanging out over, above the windshields. It's got to be that one, right? It's got to be that one. And we know this is possible. We know this is possible because Playmates have already played ball before. Hasbro has actually made Ninja Turtle toys very recently for the Lightning Collection line. They didn't sell great, but they got the license. Playmates was willing to cooperate on the toys. Do you realize me, as a 90s kid, do you realize what goes through my brain when I realize in the last few years, Hasbro, of all companies, has produced Power Ranger toys, Ninja Turtle toys? It's weird. It's super weird. And I don't know, like it's a weird, interesting world to live in for a toy collector right now. So yeah, that's the speculation. I mean, there's like fingers crossed, like, if they do Transformers, Ninja Turtles, it's gonna sell. It's gonna sell amazing. And again, fingers crossed it ends up being like, like how they're doing the Jurassic Park, where, okay, it sold well, let's do it again. Let's just keep it going, because I need me a transforming module that turns into Shredder. I need that HasLab Unicron retooled into the Technodrome. That's what I need. But no, this is all speculative. Of course, I have absolutely no proof of any of this. This is all just me just throwing ideas off the top of my head. So you are free to throw ideas of your own in the comments below. As always, I'm interested in reading them. So, speculate away, my friends. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.